Hey guys, welcome to nothing. This is nothing. There's no games being played. There's no kumite. I was gonna put music in the back of this, but there's no music that could match how pissed I am right now, and in general, just how annoyed I am about what I'm going to talk about. It's something that I've felt for a long time and been really pissed off for a long time, but haven't really had the words to articulate. So I'm going to try to explain to you guys what I think you need to watch out for in your communities, regardless of if it's a shmup community, fighting game community, whatever. I'm going to try to break this down the way I understand it and the way I see the world. Whether you agree or not, I don't care. Tell me in the comments. I mean, do I care? A little, depending on what your point it is that you have, but this is not about you. This is going to be about me. So let's start with this. Okay? This to me, this pyramid is your community. It's my community. It's the Schmuppers community in this particular example. If you are actively playing shmups, you are a shmupper. I don't care if you're getting 1cc's. I don't care if you're turning on the game for 5 minutes and then turning it off. If you're doing that daily, weekly, if you're going through your games and you're picking shmups specifically to play shmups and you're playing them for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, doesn't matter, you're a shmupper. You're a player. If you're actively playing the games, you're a player. That is the only requirement to be a part of the shmup community. Okay? If, as you go up, maybe you determine you want to get better and you want to maybe chase after some 1cc's. There's less of you, but that's a big part of the community too. If you want to go beyond that, you can go beyond the 1cc's and you can start to do score chasing or extra modes, hard modes, get even deeper. And then there's the elite who are playing for world records. I mean, they're really competing. They're really trying to get the best score in a particular game. And this is the community. This is the entire community of shmups. Okay? If you're not doing one of those things, you're not part of the community. I'm sorry. You're just not. There are normies out there. I'm going to call them normies. Just people who are interested in the genre. They're outside looking in. They're not really playing. They're kind of like enjoying the videos. They're enjoying the rant. That's fine. That's totally fine. You're not part of the community. You're just an observer. That is totally fine. And I have no beef against you. Right? Maybe you'll graduate up into being a shmupper. Maybe you want to start playing some of the games. Maybe you'll keep going. I don't know. But if you're not playing the games, you are just a normie, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I hate this gatekeeping of like, oh, hey, you're not going for 1cc, so you're not a shmupper. Fuck you. First of all, wrong. If you're playing the games, you're a shmupper. So why am I laying all of this out? In the community, there are folks who have appeared who do none of these things. They don't actively play the games. Okay? They're actually not even a normie because they're not even really interested in the genre. They're here's what they are. Here's what they are. They're leeches. They're community leeches. Community leeches to me are non-playing members of the community. They're not interested in the genre. They're not interested in furthering the genre. They are interested to gain support from people in the community for their own personal gain or agenda. That could be selling their game. That could be entertainment. They want to piss someone off because they think it's funny and they like the drama. Whatever. Non-active, non-playing members. If you played a shmup 10 years ago, you're a normie at best. That's fine. If you start to then come into the community looking for support, you are a leech. Because you are not in the community. And you're not helping the community. Because it's not for the community's gain. It's for your own personal gain, your own agenda. This stuff makes me angry. Getting like visibly upset. I'm getting like having like an anxiety attack right now. Because it's just like, why, if you're not in the community, are you trying to affect the community? You know, it's wrong. You know, fuck off. You know, if you're a player, that's fine. Even if you're a player and you don't like the games, that's fine. If you're playing them and you want to put your opinion in the hat, great. If you're not playing the games, these are people who just, they don't play shmups. And they're trying to make shmups too. Like, that's how you get a Signy. Signy's a leech. Signy is not a shmup. These are not players of the shmup community. These are people who played Raptor 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and made a game. And they think they can make a fun game. And I'm fine with that. Make your game. Leave us the fuck alone, though. Like, why are you coming in here looking for support from us? You're not doing the work. You're not playing shmups. Imagine if you came into a fighting game community and you were like, I don't play fighting games, but I'm making the next big one. Do you think that would go over well? Or do you think they would say, go play Street Fighter, go play KOF, join some tournaments, learn how the games function, and then, yeah, of course, come back and ask questions? Or would you say, let me hold your hand through making the next big fighting game when you're not even part of the fucking community? You're not even part of the fucking community. Is that what you would say? I don't think so. The problem is, in our community, we don't need others. Like, we don't need we don't need outside help or support. We have real developers in the community. The shmup community creates games at an alarming rate. We create more games than any other genre that I know of per capita, like per week, per month. Even if you stopped creating games today, we discover games in this genre, like 5 games a day. We discover new games, Dojin games, old games, games that were on the Amiga. There are tons of playing members of the community who develop shmups. We're self-sustaining. We do not need people to come in and try to save us. Shmups are easy to make. That's why we can make them. But they're hard to make well. You have to understand the fundaments of the genre and play within them to be able to make a good one. And we in the community, I mean, able to speak for myself, we literally do not give a fuck about anything except gameplay excellence. Okay, and music. Gotta have some good-ass tunes. So, your ray tracing and all your sweet graphics and your big story and your big narrative, all that shit. If you don't have the gameplay, who cares? Who cares? It's not for us. We would rather play a game, sorry, Kobito, with a triangle ship that fucking rules and has good gameplay, great balance. I mean, it's like chess. Do you care what the chess pieces look like? You don't. You could play chess on paper. Those are the level of games that we are creating in our community on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. We do not give a fuck what the chess pieces look like. We are creating chess games. Incredibly deep and complex games that will stand the test of time for years and years and decades to come. We don't care about this other shit. Right? That's not important to us. Shmuppers are the fucking coolest people ever. I was talking to Magna Remora, just put out a game. You guys should play it. I've not played it yet. We're going to kumite it. We're going to kumite it in 1 week. It's called Automanta, okay? Magna Remora put out a game called Tastrion. We kumitate it. I had some words for the game. I thought it was a little bit like rough, but that's not the point. I was talking to Magna. I was like, "Hey, your game's kind of like underpriced, man." And he was like, "Fuck that. I'm not here to profit from the community. I am here to make sure everyone can afford the game and to feed the people. Like, we eat and we care about the food, right? We are the home-cooked genre, right? We're not trying to make a profit. We're not trying to appeal to normies. We're not trying to, like, hey, oh, okay, we'll just make this game easier for you so you can play it. I'm sure there's great arguments to sell those games and make those easier. That's fine. You can do that and you can have those discussions. I don't care, right? That's not what we do in our community, we make good ass food and we make sure everybody can eat it. This ain't no exa bullshit. This ain't no gotta go to the arcade, blah, blah, blah bullshit. This is everybody eats. That's the community. They're that nice. They will mentor games that they don't even like. It's happening right now in my community. People are mentoring games. People are going through and helping developers create games that they themselves have told me verbatim they will not be playing this game. It is not a good game. It is not a shmup. It gets the fundamentals wrong. But because there's a chance that other gamers might benefit from their feedback, they're willing to do it. They're willing to give up their time. They are the coolest people you'll ever fucking meet. And it digs at me when they are taken advantage of by people who don't give a fuck about the genre, who don't even fucking play the games, man. They don't play the games. And it's like, you're coming in here asking for advice? Like, and then people are giving advice? Like, that sounds cool and all, but you're wasting my people's time, and you're not even gonna serve up any good food at the beginning. You've already said you do not care about the fundamentals. That you will not change the fundamentals. This is what happened with Signy. That's why Signy sucks. Because they didn't listen. And they don't play shmups. You can fucking tell. So what can we do? Right? Spiders STG had this part of his Signy video, so I'm going to shout outs to him, where he said, gatekeepers are the only people who care about what's in the gate. That's why they're gatekeeping it. They don't want it fucked with. There's people, like, within these pyramid layers, there's gatekeepers. There's people who will say, like, you know what, if you're not playing for 1cc, I kind of really don't want to hang out with you because you're not at the level that I'm at. You're not thinking about games the way I'm thinking about them. I've been guilty of that, where I'm just like, yeah, that's cool, but, like, you have to separate your opinion of this game's cool or this game's cool to play for 1cc, because you could enjoy the game on a casual level, and then when you start to play it, it's like, oh my god, it's impossible, or oh my god, it's so hard, or oh my god, it's so unfair. 1cc plus, right? People might say, like, you know what, if you're just doing 1ccs, you're just like a 1cc sick grabber. I don't want to hang out with you. I want to hang out with other people who are trying to push scores. And the world record holders. We can all agree, all four of us groups can agree that while it's fair to separate those groups because you want to make sure your interests are aligned and things like that, that shmuppers can graduate between yellow to green to red, whatever, because they might be more or less interested in a given time, but we can all agree that at least everyone fucking plays the games. And if you play the game, you've met the basic minimum criteria. These people have not and are not playing the games. Okay? They're just here to leech. I think gatekeepers are important because they are trying to create focus. And focus is what creates innovation, true innovation, not bullshit. Hey, I'm just gonna fucking take Diablo mechanics and put them into shmups. Not that. That's not innovation. That's creating its own genre. That's fine. It's not innovation. Innovating is within the mindset. Right? It takes creativity. It takes you to understand the fundamentals, and then you can innovate. Mark did a big old talk about Signy. You guys can watch it if you want. On innovation requires, fundamental understanding. I forgot what it was called. Innovation requires something, right? But to create true innovation, you have to focus. You can't work. You can't, like, hey, let's talk about RPGs and let's talk about racing games and let's talk about blah, blah, blah. You have to stay within the fundamental wavelength of the players, and it's not that fucking hard to do. Just play the games. That's all anyone's ever asking. Just be a part of the community. Play the games. Imagine if you're creating a fighting game and you don't play fighting games. I just don't understand how this is acceptable. Right? Why do you think you don't play, a particular genre, and then you can come in and start to make games, and then, like, oh yeah, I listen to some pieces of feedback about, like, the level design or whatever, but my game still has, like, an HP bar with 10,000 HP and 40,000 affixes and rolls and shit and, like, whatever else, like, and then be like, well, I'm not going to change any of that. The fundamental shit, like there's no iframes on hit. I'm not going to change any of that shit. But I would love to take your advice on level design. For gamers who have then told me in DMs they are not going to play the game. They are just trying to help to be helpful. And honestly, that's awesome. That's the kind of community that we have. That's the strength of the community. I don't want it wasted. I don't want it wasted on the fucking leeches. I don't want it wasted on people who are non-playing, they're not interested in the genre, and all they want is the support of the community for their own personal game, their own little project, their own agenda of whatever it ends up being. You can apply this outside of whatever you want. Think about the people in your community who are not there for the community. They are not of the community. They're not of the people. If I stop playing shmups, I will leave the community. That is how it works. You don't get to be there and not play the games. This is not... You can look in. That's fine. But then you can't come in and ask for shit. You can't come in and look for support. You're not playing the games. You're not even in the conversation. Fuck off. Frankly. So, this has been pissing me off. I just want to get this off my chest. I mean, I guess I guess I'm open to hearing what you guys have to say about it. But I love everyone on the left side of this chart. Everyone on the right side of the chart, or anywhere outside that, whether you're a normie, whatever, that's fine. If you're going to be a leech, you're going to get, like, staunch resistance from me. Borderline toxic resistance from me. Because fuck you. Candidly. Thanks, y'all. Later. Just kidding. One more thing that I noticed that I want to bring to everyone's attention. Leeches often have the most amount of resources. They often come in and they're like a marketing lead, and they have like a developer and an artist and a musician. They often have way more resources than your standard shmup dev who is just kind of trying to do this off the side of their desk, work their 3 jobs or whatever. And so, not only do they not deserve the help, they super don't fucking need it. They could just be playing the games. But they're not going to. They're going to ask you to help them fix their game without actually playing the genre games. And they have more resources than you. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck them. Candidly. Again.